Listen closely. The stakes are higher than you think. Every minor setback, every fleeting comment that manages to pierce your defenses is not just an inconvenience, it's a tangible erosion of your personal power. The individuals who stand as unshakable forces in this world aren't immune to the relentless onslaught of challenges. Their distinction lies in their masterful command over their reactions. Envision a reality where the incessant mental chatter of overthinking ceases, where impulsive emotional outbursts become relics of a weaker self, where the trivial disturbances of daily life simply fail to register. This isn't a distant fantasy. It's the direct outcome of cultivating complete self-possession. In the moments ahead, you will understand precisely how to rigorously train your mind to operate as if impervious to external agitation, allowing you to decisively break free from the entrapment of your volatile emotions and finally take absolute ownership of them. Once this critical mastery is achieved, be unequivocally clear. No person, no circumstance will ever again exert dominion over you. Mastering this "nothing bothers me" mindset isn't a desirable trait. It's an absolute necessity for navigating the brutal realities of existence. Life, in its relentless nature, is an unending torrent of sensory overload. The cacophony of opinions, the sting of frustrations, the shock of unforeseen setbacks. The world, in its indifference, constantly hurls distractions, criticisms, and formidable obstacles directly into your path. Unyielding strength, however, is forged in the crucible of mastering the profound art of indifference. Picture yourself traversing the heart of a violent storm, your composure unbroken, your focus unwavering. This is the very essence of acting as if nothing holds the power to disturb your inner equilibrium. The pivotal element here is the deliberate detachment of your emotional state from the capricious nature of external circumstances. When you passively allow the events unfolding around you to dictate your internal mood, you relinquish control, becoming a mere puppet dancing to the discordant tunes of forces entirely beyond your command. Conversely, when you proactively train your mind to remain steadfast and unmoved, you seize the reins of your destiny with an iron grip. The world, in its astute observation, inherently respects those who maintain an unwavering calm amidst the swirling vortex of chaos, those who refuse to fracture under the crushing weight of pressure. Individuals who embody this formidable mindset command an almost magnetic authority, often without the need for a single uttered word. They navigate the complexities of life with an undeniable power, a palpable presence, and an unwavering confidence that radiates from their very core. Reflect upon the influential figures who have indelibly marked the annals of history. Their defining characteristic was not a tendency to react impulsively to every perceived slight or petty criticism. Instead, they cultivated and meticulously maintained an aura of absolute control, as if privy to a fundamental truth that remained elusive to the masses. Their genuine strength resided in their remarkable ability to remain seemingly unaffected by the external turbulence, unequivocally demonstrating the profound and often underestimated power of strategic indifference. Consider the foundational principles espoused within the vast body of self-mastery and success literature. A recurring and undeniably potent lesson emerges. Thoughts invariably precede actions. If your default mode of engagement with the world is one of constant emotional reactivity, you are, in effect, systematically surrendering your personal power with each uncontrolled response. However, if you consciously cultivate an unwavering and resilient mindset, you possess the capacity to bend the very fabric of reality to your will. Those who ascend to the highest echelons of achievement understand this fundamental truth with absolute clarity, exert unwavering control over the mind, and you, in turn, exert unwavering control over your reality. Imagine a scenario where you are subjected to a public insult, a deliberate attempt to diminish your standing. The conventional knee-jerk response might involve a surge of anger, a desperate urge for self-defense, or a retaliatory strike intended to wound the instigator. But consider the profound shift in power dynamics when you simply offer a measured smile and deliberately walk away. In that single, calculated act of non-engagement, you effectively rob the instigator of their intended power. They anticipated a reaction, a visible crack in your composure, and without it, they are left disconcerted, their attempt to provoke rendered impotent. You, on the other hand, walk away not only unscathed but demonstrably stronger, your inner equilibrium untouched, your position undefeated. This form of silent dominance, this quiet display of self-mastery, is universally admired, yet its underlying mechanics remain understood by a select few. The identical principle of strategic indifference applies with equal force to the inevitable encounters with failures and setbacks that punctuate the journey of life. When confronted with the sting of rejection or the disappointment of defeat, the majority of individuals allow their emotions to seize control, often spiraling into a vortex of negativity that can consume days, weeks, or even years in unproductive lamentation over what transpired. Those who truly grasp the power of indifference, however, adopt a fundamentally different perspective. They view failure not as a personal indictment or a catastrophic event, but rather as objective data, a valuable learning experience, a crucial piece of information, or simply a necessary stepping stone on the path to ultimate success. They consciously avoid internalizing failure, instead adopting a detached stance of observation, analysis, and subsequent adaptation, allowing them to pivot and move forward with renewed clarity and purpose. Therefore, the critical question arises: how does one cultivate this formidable level of self-control? The answer lies in the consistent and deliberate training of your mind, day in and day out. Make a conscious practice of pausing before reacting to any external stimulus that threatens to elicit an emotional response. In that brief moment of intentional stillness, ask yourself a crucial question. Does this particular situation genuinely impact my long-term goals and aspirations? Or am I merely on the verge of carelessly surrendering my personal power over a triviality? By consistently choosing non-reaction as your default response, you begin to forge an impenetrable armor, a resilient shield that effectively deflects the myriad trivialities that life incessantly throws your way. Visualization emerges as another indispensable tool in this process of mental fortification. Regularly and vividly picture yourself as an individual who remains utterly unflinching in the face of insults, who stands firm and unbroken under the relentless pressure of adversity. Consciously and consistently reinforce this powerful self-image within the theater of your mind, and with unwavering certainty, it will gradually manifest as your lived reality. When you unequivocally demonstrate that nothing holds the power to bother you, you fundamentally shift the dynamics of the game, placing yourself firmly in control. Those around you will inevitably be intrigued, perhaps even perplexed, by your unwavering composure. You will gradually transform into an enigma, an individual whom others admire from a distance but can never quite decipher. Within that very mystery lies a significant source of your burgeoning strength. True power is not predicated on overt displays of domination or aggressive posturing. Rather, it resides in a profound and undeniable presence, a presence so inherently strong that it obviates the need for any external validation or forceful assertion. It commands respect not through demanding it, but through the quiet authority of an unshakable state of mind. Mastering this crucial ability is not about the suppression or denial of your emotions. It is fundamentally about the conscious and deliberate control of them. Picture yourself engaged in a heated argument, where the other party is actively attempting to provoke a reaction, to elicit an emotional outburst. Do you succumb to the bait, allowing yourself to be drawn into their volatile emotional landscape? Or do you instead offer a calm, perhaps even subtle smile, fully aware that their words possess only the power that you choose to grant them? Emotional detachment, in its essence, is the resolute refusal to surrender your inner peace to the capricious whims of external forces. It is the profound understanding that your inner world, your mental sanctuary, is sacred and utterly untouchable by anything that emanates outside of yourself. When you consciously adopt this powerful mindset, the insidious grip of stress begins to loosen, mental clarity sharpens with remarkable acuity, and the challenges that life inevitably presents transform from daunting battles to be fiercely fought into intricate puzzles to be strategically solved. Your thoughts, as you are increasingly understanding, possess the remarkable power to shape your reality. What you consistently focus your mental energy upon, you will invariably attract into your experience. When you passively allow external events to dictate your internal state of mind, you effectively become a slave to the ever-shifting tides of circumstance. However, when you assert unwavering control over your thoughts and emotions, you actively position yourself as the architect of your own destiny, the deliberate creator of your unfolding reality. Can you recall a recent situation where applying this concept could have led to a different outcome for you, and why? Can you identify a personal habit or tendency towards reactivity that you'd like to address? And what initial steps could you take to cultivate a more indifferent response in those situations? If you enjoyed the content and would like to support this channel, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the section below. And I'll see you next time.